Hi guys. So we're inside Ganon's castle, and yeah, we're gonna just. Whoa. Okay, I forgot I defeated the Beamos here. Yeah, that kind of sets me up quite well. It's always funny actually starting this emulation from when you're last inside a room, because obviously if I was playing in the N64 days, those Beamos would have regenerated. But yeah, this is the main sort of central pillar of Ganon's castle. You can see that there's this kind of aura that's preventing us from advancing any further over this bridge, with a weird kind of like dragon mouth gateway, which I always thought was pretty cool. But you can see that there are these beams of light emanating from the walls. Each one is linked to a particular room that is kind of symbolic of one of the dungeons that you complete as Adult Link. So you can see, for example, the Forest Temple is here. I'm going to jump in and do the Forest Temple one first, just because it's here. I actually won't be doing these in order, because if I remember rightly, there's a particular reason that you wouldn't do them in order. In fact, you can't. Yeah, there's a particular room in which you find something that you need in order to progress any further. So, for example, doing the Forest Temple first is fine, but if I were to go on in sort of the order in which the dungeons were done, and then try and do the Fire Temple next, I think there's, yeah, I can see this. Oop, the fire arrows. You can see there's one more torch up there that I don't want to miss. If I were to try and go on and do the fire dungeon, fire segment next, now I know that there's 5 rupees in there, so I'm not going to bother opening it. Then yeah, that wouldn't be possible, because there'd be something that would prevent my path from advancing. So we'll do the Forest Temple first. But generally speaking, oh yeah, okay. I tried to equip the hover boots then. Apparently I think I'm playing Wind Waker or something like that. Oof. I didn't know that the Beamos could hit you from there. That's quite cheeky. Alright, well, I'm going to try and do something a little bit cheeky myself. There we go. Do it again, yeah. Okay. One thing I thought was interesting about the previous room as well is about the torch that was above the archway there. That's interesting because that feels like a Master Quest puzzle. It doesn't feel like a conventional Zelda puzzle to just have a torch on top of an archway. It's very unsymmetrical, I guess would maybe be the word. So yeah, that strikes me as a little bit odd. But yeah. Okay, so what we need here, you can tell this room doesn't look like anywhere we've ever been in before. We need the light arrows to strike this light. They look like seeds. I don't know if they're supposed to be designed after seeds. But yeah, one way or another, we're I guess allowing Saria to aid us with her power now that we've broken whatever restriction was on the forest barrier. They never really describe exactly how that mechanic works, or why indeed Ganon's castle, which supposedly was fashioned after Hyrule Castle, why it has these rooms in it exactly. But you know, it's a video game. We're not supposed to ask too many questions, or at least, you know, video games from the 90s and all that. As I have mentioned before, it's smaller development teams. They don't have as much, or didn't have as much presence of mind as they have to have today, because gamers ask too many questions these days. At least that's how I understand it. So yeah, we're going into the Shadow Temple area, just because, from what I remember, this is the room that we have to go in before we can do the Fire Temple. And I'm going to need the same item that... I'm probably going to need the long shot as well. The same item that we needed in that dungeon. I think? No? Apparently not. I think that's probably a part coming up actually later on in this room. Okay, sure. And it's timed. That really helps. That's great. Likes. I really... Ooh. I don't want to get too close then. I'd rather take my time. Okay. I hate it when that happens. Oh, that's so annoying. That's just the game's way of trolling you, is putting the pots really close to the edge. That's a chest over there. Okay, so I think we need the hover boots in order to get over that small gap. So let's try that. Not quite. A bit of a run up. Okay, no, yeah. I had a distinct feeling that wasn't going to work, but I'm not sure how I was just supposed to get across there. Probably really help if I didn't have hover boots for this bit. Oh, okay, sure. And now we have a particular pathway that we can follow. I'm gonna try and hit that switch and see what happens. I don't really know how I would get back, to be honest. Okay. That's been set up on purpose. And if I remember rightly, this has the very important item that we need in order to complete the rest of the dungeon. Excellent. Cool. Nice. And, you know, Link's look is pretty much complete now. You can see his character model's changed again so that his silver gauntlets now have a gold tinge to them. So, you know, it's a missable aspect of this. Ooh. Didn't actually see there was another pathway there, but yeah, it's relatively easy to miss that, considering how important the golden gauntlets are actually to, you know, you need them in order to complete the game, so you don't make it very obvious. Cool. And I think, yeah, let's take a shortcut. Oh, come on. There we go. Clearly I'm getting very lazy with my my aiming. I'm thinking, yeah, that'll make it. It just doesn't. Alright. So now we have the golden gauntlets, we can go back to basically just doing the rooms in order. You don't have to do them in order, obviously, but it helps just to keep track of where you are. Fire door, it's right next door. Obviously that timer really means nothing because we have a golden tunic. What's more annoying is this central, yeah, this bit. You can sort of jump and it will... The more that you can kind of bring yourself to jump over the platform, the more time you can buy. If that makes any sense, because you can, once it starts falling, it'll actually just start creeping up a little bit by the time you... Right, and this is why we need the golden gauntlets. Because of this thing. Can't move it without the silver ones, and... Yeah, you can see Link is actually pretty strong right now. And yeah, not only do you need that silver rupee, which is under there, but the key fact. I don't want to touch that torch slug. Is that it enables you to actually grab this one as well. I reckon I can get that from here. Okay. That was audacious of me, clearly. There we go. I think, again, I think it's just one room. Sometimes it's a larger room than others. But one room that you can just complete and get access to the end. And then you can dispel the barrier at the other side. I do quite like that they thought to kind of add to the characters a little bit, just by having each sage represented at the end of the each trial. Okay, water, which was actually like this way. Oh, great. As Gandalf said, I have no memory of this place. Wow, there's a lot of... I was hoping that I could get him before he would time to catch his breath, but... Just as well that I didn't go and get another fairy, because if I did, I would have had to get rid of it just to get some blue fire anyway. It's kind of creepy how these Freezards move, actually. Is that just me? that because they glide across the floor so smoothly that there's just something a bit odd about that. Oh, I'm getting a bit of emulator slowdown there. That hasn't really happened yet. Ah, okay. No, there are multiple rooms. Oh, I was going to say that seemed a bit easy. Surely I can just... Let's get some blue fire, because I know I'm going to need it anyway. I don't know what happens when that timer runs out. Maybe you just get kicked out. Start again. Alright. Probably one of those cases where I should actually think about the puzzle before I start doing it. That beeping is going to annoy the hell out of me, so I'm just gonna jump back. Clearly another segment which I'm going to have to speed through.
2 hours later.
Ah! Okay. That'll be why. I did think to myself, there's no way that you can do it without something that I'm not understanding about it. Okay. Cool. I think we've got it now. And it makes sense considering that the area to the next room, we actually don't need a block to get there. Let's run to this bit. Looks like a rusty switch as well, so I think it's going to be Megaton Hammer time. Yeah. Cool. So hopefully. That's it, and that'll be by far the longest I've spent doing one of these so far. So that's pretty much par for the course when you consider the water temple trolling me even to the very last. I did think that the scripting is pretty lackluster when it comes to this bit. As much as I appreciate them putting the character models in for Ruto, who is supposedly Link's fiance, and as one of the characters that's quite, I think, yeah, the only character in the game that is explicitly in love with Link. Obviously, or at least the most explicitly in love with Link. For her to just say "hurry up" seems like a bit of a it seems like a bit of a throwaway piece of dialogue, to be honest. Let's do the light temple, because I'm interested to see what this actually looks like. Obviously, the light barrier, if you want to call it that, obviously will help Rauru in it. This is pretty cool scene. Just breaks into several pieces, falls through the floor. Okay, this is good to do. It's gonna be bats again, isn't it? I thought about maybe doing this without the lens, but considering how much bats have been the bane of my existence in this playthrough, I'll use what power I have to get back at them. That was quite satisfying. Okay. I'm gonna guess that this is the small key. Sure. Just for complete... Okay. I was gonna say, for completeness sake, I'm gonna open all the chests. And I forget that there are some chests in this game that genuinely want to hurt you. Yeah. This was a smart thing to do. Okay, so that decision has been a net negative overall. But anyway. Ah, okay. So that was basically the reason why I wanted to open all the chests in the first place, because I was convinced that the game wouldn't make it that easy just to give you one small key to the next room. So is there an invisible chest in here somewhere? Maybe in the room I was just in. Huh. That's interesting. Can't bomb any of these walls. No, that's a normal sound. No. Part of me wonders, you know, if this small key that I need is going to be in another part of the dungeon. But considering so much, you know, you have the invisible bats and the invisible Skulltula, it makes me think that the answer's somewhere in here. Oh, I really can't see anything. Okay. No. Alright, let's leave the light barrier for now. Because I remember what's behind it. There's still plenty to do in that section. But I'll go to the Spirit Temple first, just in case. In case there's a small key there I might have missed or something like that. Oh, great. That's a pleasant looking room on site, isn't it? That was not as helpful as I had hoped. This one might do it. Yeah. Okay, I don't think these are real Armos. I think they're just they're in place to help you restrict the blades. Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's an annoying sound. Oh, there's the last one. kind of clipped through the blade a little bit there, but you won't hear me complain. See, in terms of design, this reminds me of nothing of the Spirit Temple. I don't remember there being torch slugs in there. Right, clearly, only one answer to that puzzle. Right, okay, that's it. Yeah, that was great. That really worked. Perhaps this will. Oh, come on. I didn't do that. Alright. No, that's not going to work. Yeah, I don't think Din's fire activates switches anyway, but it's worth a shot considering... no. Considering that... I really don't know how I'm supposed to do that. Oh, you're joking. Really? Bombed you. I've only got a few, and they're quite rare. Right, fine. That was not helpful. Okay. Alright. Oh, what? I didn't even change my angle. This is stupid. Right. I have to admit the angle did look a bit off there. A little bit too long there. 2 flashes. What does that do? You got... Oh, right, okay. I thought it said 1 bomb chew, and I thought, okay, that's not helpful at all, but... Oh, stupid. I did not want to do that. I'm not quite sure what I meant to do, but I didn't mean to do that. I was thinking that maybe if I... This work? No. Okay. Clearly that's... Get a shaft of light in here, that's the only way I'm going to get... These switches activated. Okay. Finally, something that resembles the Spirit Temple a bit more. Oh, what? Oh, fucking Floor Masters. Okay, I was avoiding that. It was maybe a little bit risky, but who wants to hang about? No small key though. So yeah, there's something going on that light temple that I'm not accounting for. Okay, light temple. Light barrier, whatever. I'm coming for you. Something I'm missing in this. I really can't imagine that there's a key in one of the other rooms that I've missed that is necessary. Apart from there was that small chest at the beginning of the Shadow Temple, maybe. This way, I'm thinking maybe it is that because it's definitely not here. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, I have had to actually Google what to do because there's no indication that I can see of what's actually happened here. Interesting. Actually, it's a glitch. Supposedly, there is a Triforce emblem. Again, this is the issue with the emulator, which has been a problem throughout this whole playthrough. There's a Triforce emblem on this part of the floor. So, yeah, I mean, so far it hasn't been a problem at all through this playthrough because I remember where they all are. But, you know, obviously we've got to a point where I've actually, you know, right at the end of the game, I've forgotten the key one. Haha. No pun intended. Oh, and I can see it! I can see it on the way out, but... Yeah, it's kind of annoying that, I've had to look online for that, but you know what else can you do? I'm gonna assume that there's a hookshot point in the ceiling. Yeah. Excellent. Let's go with the flow because I do not want to get hauled down by that. That's interesting. I wonder if there's some strange symbolism in that, because I think that's the only room where this happens. And obviously the light barrier is special. I remember, you know, in my first playthrough as a kid, thinking, you know, wow, there's actually one here for you know, for the Temple of Light, which, if I remember rightly throughout this playthrough, they mentioned that the Temple of Light is located within the Sacred Realm, you know, basically where the Triforce is, and that it's a place that Ganondorf he needed to open the door of time in order to access it. So we know through the lore that's presented in the story that it's a sacred place, it's a special place. So obviously the barrier itself is you know, arguably by extension of that special. All right. Okay, so I've mulled it over. I've thought about whether I'm actually going to go ahead and fight Ganondorf right away now. I think because there's one last thing that I want to do, which is going to take up a couple more minutes of this playthrough. It feels appropriate to me that I'll go ahead and do that, and then we can separate the two playthroughs. Just because otherwise, with the ending and everything, it's probably going to end up being like an hour and a half, and I don't particularly want to have a a video that's that long. No one's going to sit through all that. You know, arguably the length of a film. Okay. Let's get Link looking the part anyway. There we go. Back to traditional. So, one thing that you'll remember is that this is the area where there is a great fairy fountain where we acquired Din's Fire as a child. So you can guess that in the adult section of the game there's something equally special, if not more special. I think this is the last ridiculously huge pillar in the game. And again, my emulator is absolutely determined not to display any of those Triforce symbols. There must be something in its coding or something that makes it different from the rest of the game that yeah, the emulator just doesn't like that. So you can see that the outline of our hearts has changed to white. So yeah, arguably one of the most valuable enhancements in the entire game, really, if not the most valuable, is that any damage done to you at this point will be reduced by half. So, you know, once you're getting to this many hearts, and you know, I've done very little side quests, so I haven't actually got very many. I've literally just picked up all the easy heart pieces that I can remember along the way. Yeah, it's I'm not really going to need to worry about a red fairy, just because Ganondorf isn't too hard as a boss. So, but we're getting to that point now. Getting to that stage. It's getting close. But yeah, I'll just run through these BMOS. And we'll go back up to this part of the bridge, and I'll just save it here. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and next time it will definitely be the final installment. So then we take on Ganondorf, and we'll see whether we can right some wrongs. Cool. Okay, see you next time, guys. Bye.